What's going on, guys? Got another comic book haul video for you. I've got three separate lots here to go through. This first one is stuff that I picked up from a garage sale slash pop-up comic book shop, they're calling it now. I made a couple videos last year about this. There's that guy, he advertises on Craigslist and on Facebook around the Louisville area. So during the spring and summer months, he opens up his garage and he sells comics and toys and board games, movies, CDs, things like that. He used to have a comic shop over in southern Indiana back in the mid to late 90s. It shut down, I think he said, in the early 2000s. So he has a lot of inventory from that still, but he still likes collecting and selling comics, so he picks up new inventory as well and just tries to flip that out of his house. So I go over there a couple times. He does a good job about getting new inventory. So, and most of the books are $1. So he's got price books and slab books, and he has good prices on everything. So, but I just dig in the dollar boxes and the priced boxes mostly. So this first one is World of Warcraft number 3. This is from the Wildstorm run. This was $1.50. I got this one because it's got a Jim Lee cover. I think the first 6 issues of this run, Jim Lee did the covers on them. So I'm going to try to pick those up because I'm not a big World of Warcraft fan. I've got a couple of friends that have played it a lot. I just never got into it, but the art's pretty cool, and Jim Lee, can't go wrong with that. Next, I think everything else is $1 that I picked up. $1.50, yeah, pretty much. So this is Wolf and Red number 1. This is the Tex Avery little mini-series. I had a couple of the Droopy books, but this is my first one that's just focused on Wolf and Red, so I'm going to try to get the little mini-series as well. Next, we got V-Wars number 2. This is I'm not really sure what this is about. I assume it's vampires. But I picked this one up. This is the sub cover. It's a Kevin Eastman cover. So I just grabbed that. I just like picking up his non-Ninja Turtle stuff as well as his Ninja Turtle stuff. So that's why I grabbed that. And then speaking of Kevin Eastman, we've got Melting Pot number 1. This was from the early 90s. It's Kevin Eastman and Simon Bisley. So it's a good combination. Just weird. I'm not even sure what it's about yet, so I haven't read it, but I think it was 3 or 4 issue series. So Eastman did the pencils on most of it, and then Bisley did the colors and pencils on some of it as well too. So happy to find that for $1. And next I picked up some Robotech books from that Wildstorm run. I've got 1 and 2, I think, so I'm going to try to put the whole run together. So I got issue 0, issue 3, and issue 4. I really like that cover. And then one more Robotech book. This is Silly Robotech 2, the Sentinel Swimsuit Spectacular, with Minmay on the cover there with a crown on for some reason. I guess she got first place, that's why she's got a crown, of course. So just weird swimsuit issues from the 90s, you know. Pretty irritating stuff. Alright, next we got Roswell, the Little Green Man. This is from Bongo. I'd never seen this before. I just kind of like the cartoony art style, so that's why I picked that one up. And speaking of cartoony art style, you've got a Disney book, Scrooge McDuck in the Yukon. I guess this is kind of a prequel. Maybe it talks about how he made his fortune. I'm not up on my Scrooge McDuck lore like I was when I was a kid, but I'm very nostalgic about Scrooge McDuck and DuckTales, so anytime I find some of those, I'll pick them up. Like this book. This is Disney's DuckTales. This is number 15. I think this might be my first DuckTales book from this Disney run, so I'm not sure how long it went, but anytime I find them for cheap, I'm going to grab them. Next here, we got Stanley and His Monster, number 3. This was a 4-issue miniseries by Phil Foglio. He's one of my favorite artists from Magic the Gathering, and then he did comic books as well, so I'm slowly trying to find as much of his stuff as I can. he did this 4-issue miniseries. This number 3 was the last one that I needed to complete the run, so I was happy to find that. Next, we got Punisher Armory number 1, just a cool Jim Lee cover. This was, what year is it, 92 probably, 91, 92. Punisher was at the height of his power and popularity. They had, let's say, the main Punisher book, they had Punisher War Journal, Punisher War Zone, I don't know if it had started at this time, and they had this Punisher Armory. This is just a kind of a source book for all his weapons and stuff, no real story or anything, just kind of more like a supplement, I guess, to all the cool weapons that he had. Next we got Prophet number 1. This is from volume 2, I believe. A Boris Vallejo cover. I think I showed the Frank Miller cover for this one a couple videos ago. So I found the Boris Vallejo cover, so I grabbed that. Next, we got Moon Knight. This is from volume 1. This is number 13. This book heated up a while ago for, it's like, this one's $1.50. It's the first meeting of Moon Knight and Daredevil. So that's why it heated up. Daredevil wasn't in the Moon Knight show, but there's speculation, since Daredevil's coming back to the MCU, and he's kind of a street-level hero like Moon Knight, that it's only a matter of time before they appear together on the screen. Now, whether or not that happens, I don't care. I just like Moon Knight, and anytime I can find any books from this first run, or first volume for cheap, I will pick them up. This is kind of a weird book. I didn't know anything about it. I just like the cover. It's called The Bird. It's kind of a horror book, I guess. I thought it might be it kind of looks like Kevin Eastman art, but it's not him. I can't remember the artist now, but it's kind of a crazy clown going around killing dudes, so it's kind of entertaining. Weird art, weird horror stuff from the 90s. Next, we got a comic adaptation of the hit movie Big, starring Tom Hanks. I'm not up on my first appearance for Tom Hanks, but this might be his first appearance in comics. I'm not sure. Don't know if they did a Bosom Buddies adaptation or not, but if they did not, I would assume this is probably his first appearance, but for whatever that's worth. This might be the first appearance of John Goodman in comics. Here we got Arachnophobia, the official movie adaptation. Now, I got these books more than a month ago, I think, so it was kind of funny. A couple weeks ago, the news came out that they're going to reboot Arachnophobia, I guess, so this got hot for a while, selling for like $10 or whatever. I'm sure you can find these in dollar bins everywhere, but this was the first time that I had seen it, so I picked it up. Next, just got a cool Battle Chasers. This is number 4. I found number 1, like second print last year at some point in time, so I may just try to put this run together. I think it was like 10 or 11 issue series that Joe Mad created and then abandoned, and then he's going to come back to it and complete it. I think that was what's going on. So I don't know, like the cover. I haven't read any of them yet, but looks pretty cool. Next 2 books, we've got Avenging Spider-Man number 14 and number 15. And the reason I got these was, from what I can tell, these are the only 2 books that Dell'Otto did the interiors for. He's known for a cover artist, as being a cover artist, obviously, and he did the covers on these as well. But he also did the interior art, which I thought was pretty cool. So I just tried to pick these up. These were, that one was $3 and that one's $3.50. So these were the most expensive books in this haul. They were, I guess cover price was $4. So it was still under cover price, but just kind of a neat little random trivia thing. Dell'Otto doing interiors, so happy to find those. Next, we got Atomic Age number 1. This is a 4-issue miniseries published by Epic Comics in the 80s, late 80s, I think. I just grabbed this because Mike Okamoto, he's one of the artists I discovered recently when I got back into comics, not from recent comics, but he was an artist back in the 80s and 90s. He did a lot of painted covers. That's what caught my eye. for the adaptation of the Piers Anthony series, the Incarnations of Immortality. He did not paint these. He did the pencils on the cover and the interiors as well, and it's not painted. It doesn't have that painted look at all, like I've come to recognize him for, but it's still kind of cool just to see him doing a different style, so happy to find that. Next is kind of another fun 90s book, Adventures of the Screamer Brothers. I've been toying with the idea of like just picking up books if they have fun, like Rollerblade or like hockey covers. So this guy's wearing, I can't tell if those are inline skates or not, but he's got skates on, and on the interior he's playing ice hockey, which I play and love. And no rollerblades, unfortunately, but any kind of roller skate covers I might be just trying to pick up just kind of a fun little thing to collect. And then the last book from the garage sale pop-up shop is this Aaron Strips #1. I had no idea what this was. The cover caught my eye. Apparently it's a collection of comic strips called The Adventures of Aaron, which also I'd never heard of. It's a sideways book. Everything's because they're comic strips published in newspapers. So they're all, each page is one separate strip. So that was interesting. They're all in black and white. Like I said, I never heard or seen this before. So the cover caught my eye for $1. Can't go wrong with that. So, alright. So the next group of books, these were all 50 and quarter-cent finds from Great Escape. It's a local shop here in Louisville. So I just dig through their bins a lot and, find some good stuff sometimes. So happy to find this. This is Captain America 362. This is the first cover appearance of Crossbones down there, and first full appearance for whatever that's worth on the inside. So this goes for anywhere between $5 and $10, and he was in some of the Captain America movies, but he died off pretty quick. So who knows if they'll bring him back, in the multiverse he'll be there. But he was always a cool '90s Captain American '90s villain when I was a kid, so I was happy to find that. Next, we got City Heroes 1 and City of Heroes 2. I picked these up. This is just early David Nakayama. He didn't do the covers on these. He just did the interior art on these. So I think he did, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 of these City of Heroes books for Top Cow. So I like his artwork a lot. So anytime I can find early interior stuff by artists I like, I enjoy picking that stuff up. So, and again, these were 25 cents, so can't beat that. Next, I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. So this is the Fantastic Four 371. It's the embossed cover. This is the white print, or white version, first print. And it's a newsstand too, which I thought was cool. The second printing is a red embossed cover. It's a little easier to see, but just definitely 90s book, 90s gimmick book with the embossed cover. Next, found Gears of War #3. I think I finally decided I'm just going to try to collect this whole run of Gears of War. I had one of the hard-to-find issues up on my Macari store for a while, but nobody bought it, so I pulled it down, and I'm just going to try to collect this whole run, because it's one of my favorite video games from that era, and the art looks pretty good too, so why not? Next, we've got Gen 13 -1. This was from 1997, which was a few years after Gen 13 debuted. Just a J. Scott Campbell cover. He didn't do the interiors or anything. I don't remember this. I think this particular issue came out after I'd stopped collecting, so I was trying to get that the first volume of Gen 13 and then the second volume up to where J. Scott Campbell stops, which is around the early to mid 20 issues, I think. So I was happy to find -1. And speaking of Gen 13, I found 3 versions of this book. This is Gen 13 Generation X, kind of a one-shot crossover. So this one is the, what does that say? American Entertainment exclusive variant. It's Art Adams, he did that one. And here's one that J. Scott Campbell did. And then Art Adams Adams did that one as well. And Art Adams did all the interior art on this book as well, so I thought that was cool. Read through it. It's pretty entertaining. Just a, goofy crossover book from that 90s time. I never got into Generation X. That they came about a little after my time, I think, so I'm not too familiar with them, but Gen 13 I like a lot. And then speaking of them, we got this Gen 13 yearbook, 1997. This was cool. Just kind of a summary, I guess, of what had happened in the Gen 13 books in this year, 1997. I mean, they got, action sports section. This was the fun part. They got the mugshots, the yearbook pictures at the very end. And let's see, there's J. Scott Campbell. I don't know if that's actually his yearbook photo or not, but it'd be kind of cool if it was. And then Joe Chiodo. Those were the artists that I recognized in the mugshots when I was going through. They didn't have Jim Lee or anything, unfortunately, but I thought that was cool. They had J. Scott Campbell in there. Next, we got Mask 1 and 2, official movie adaptations. These look to be newsstands as well, so I thought that was cool. Mask, Jim Carrey goodness from the 90s. I think that was the year that he released, or he didn't release, he was in Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, and The Mask, I think all within the same calendar year, which is just crazy. But The Mask, when it came out, I didn't know that it was based on a comic book. So these are the comic book versions of the movie adaptation of the comic book, so kind of third generation adaptation, I guess, so it's kind of cool. Got a Mortal Kombat Blood and Thunder. This was the first kind of Mortal Kombat Malibu comic that I'd seen for cheap, so I picked up a few of the Street Fighter ones, so anytime I find these early video game fighting games comics that I played a lot when I was a kid, I'll pick those up, so that was kind of a fun grab. And then here's another gimmick cover from the 90s. This is Sleepwalker 19. So the gimmick on this one is you open it up and then you cut holes and then insert string for Mask. So you cut out the eyes, cut out the mouth, and then I guess you put strings in there and then put Sleepwalker on your face. So you destroy your comic book and make a Sleepwalker mask. So I never did that, but again, this was only 50 cents or a quarter, so maybe I'll do that for Halloween. That could be fun. Next, got Three Musketeers, another movie adaptation. This is the Disney Three Musketeers that came out in the early 90s. It's a newsstand, just a fun little book. And I got a couple of what ifs here from Volume 2. What if the X-Men died on their first mission? There wouldn't be many X-Men comics. And then another X-Men, what if the all-new, all-different X-Men had never existed? So, and then lastly, from Great Escape Run, or Great Escape Pickups, is this Savage Dragon 171. This was just a, I guess, low print Savage Dragon. I saw it in there, and I know some of these, I'm not sure what the numbers are with the low print runs. I know with Spawn, basically like anything over 100 is pretty low print run, so you want to pick those up. And then Savage Dragon, I don't know, probably the same thing, anything over 100 is pretty low print. Some recent sold prices on eBay, this is about $20-25, so I'll put this up for sale and try to get rid of it, because I have the first couple issues of Savage Dragon, but I'm not a big Savage Dragon fan. Alright, so this next lot, I'll put a Robotech book up here. Another Robotech book. So this next lot I paid $30 for on Mercari, and there was just a lot of random books. Like there was these Robotech books in here. I have that one. I guess that's cover A. Is that cover A? I don't know. You can't tell because the barcode's all 111. And that's another cover. So those are cool. I don't have this particular cover for Robotech 1, so that was nice. Got Gen 13, 58, and 59. Just some late run Gen 13. Telios number 2. No idea what this is. The cartoon art style is pretty cool though. Cool Mobile Suit Gundam cover. I was never into Gundam stuff, but it was in the lot, so why not? Then I was into G.I. Joe and Transformers, so this was number 3 in the 4-issue miniseries, so I was happy to find that. Cool Shockwave cover there. But then the main reason I bought the lot was for this Powerpuff. This is Cartoon Network starring Powerpuff Girls #1, and it's a newsstand. So I guess recent sales on this book are, anywhere between $50 and $100. So this is probably one that I'm going to get graded. It's got a few, I don't know if you could tell, it's got a little indentation there, and then a couple of spine ticks right there. So those look to be color breaking, but those indentations might be able to pressed out. So I'm going to get this one pressed and graded and try to sell. Because I don't care about the Powerpuff Girls, I just know this first one goes for a little bit of money. And like I said, the lot was $30, so this basically pays for the whole lot if I can sell it. Next, we got a Dexter's Laboratory #1. This is also a newsstand. I was looking at these on eBay. It's hard to find this on eBay in this particular version because there was a Burger King, I guess, promo comic for this. So instead of the barcode down there, it just got the Burger King logo, and it's the same art that's on this. So I'm not sure how much this goes for. There was some listings for anywhere between $20 and $100, so who knows, but I may send this one in to get graded as well. And then the last two books of that lot were these Ninja Turtles Dream Wave. So these are issues 1 and 2. Dream Wave, I guess, did a little 6-issue run for Ninja Turtles like in the early 2000s, and it was actually written by Peter David, which I thought was pretty cool. He's a really popular writer back in the 90s when I was collecting. He wrote a lot of Hulk stuff that was really popular, so it was a nice surprise. So yeah, I was real happy with that lot on Mercari. $30 for some Ninja Turtles books that I needed. That G.I. Joe and Transformers book, but definitely that Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Lab books are kind of the jewels for that lot. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I will talk to you later.